so easy every day. Living in Lubbock, the one and only LBK. We got rock and roll, we got the blues, two-stepping in the honky-tonks and our cowboy boots. Through the dust in review mirror you can see our rhythm and roots. Rhythm and Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of LBK Rhythm and Roots podcast. I'm your host, Jason Robertson, and this is the final episode of Season 3, and today we get the opportunity to get back into Studio 1314 here at Citizens Tower, newly renovated studio. It looks great. Got the new digital background, the new sound walls, everything looks amazing. I can't wait for next season, Season 4, to record another set of interviews in here and episodes. The sound's going to be incredible. So you guys stay tuned for Season 4, where we're going to be in studio all next year. But today, on the finale, I've got a very special guest with me, a North Carolina boy, Mr. Bryan Bielanski. Hey, Bryan, what's going on, man?
Hey, Jason, how are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm so glad. So you are coming through Lubbock on one leg of a tour this year that part of it's in the United States, part of it is Europe. Is that correct?
That's correct. I've been on the road since January, so I've made 2 coast-to-coast trips, East Coast to West Coast in the U.S., playing shows all along the way. Then I actually just got back from a 2.5-month leg in Europe, and now I'm doing one last little leg through the southern half of the country, and I'm going to be home and take a couple of days off for Thanksgiving, and then just hitting the road again in the Midwest and up and down the East Coast until Christmas.
Well, that kind of lifestyle makes for some very interesting stories, doesn't it?
Indeed it does. A lot of my songs I write about my travels. I call them road stories. That's kind of my thing. A lot of different songs about the interesting things that happen on the road.
So you're going to be playing at Funky Door, and that's a great venue.
Yeah, I actually played there the other week, too. So they had me for 2 dates. So, yeah, kind of a fancy place, and I'm playing all different kinds of places on my tours. Everything from, more of a fancy place like the Funky Door to, but then I play places like homeless shelters. I play hospitals, juvenile detention centers, and then I do, of course, music clubs, bars, breweries, pretty much anywhere where they're interested to have me perform. I'm all for it, and I love the variety.
Very nice. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to stop in and do a little quick chat and play some tunes for us while you're in town.
Oh, well, my pleasure, and thank you for helping me get the word out about my music here in Lubbock.
Absolutely, man. Well, and we were talking before, that's what this podcast is about, is showing my love and the city's love for other artists and venues that support it. So, man, the pleasure is all mine.
Well, that's great. And, I truly do appreciate, folks that are so supportive of the music community, not only your own local music community, but folks like myself that are just passing through.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about life growing up in North Carolina. Have you lived your whole life there?
I've lived there since I was 2 years old. So basically my whole life in North Carolina. It was kind of nice. Of course, I had my circle of friends as one does. And yeah, just we had beach not too far, mountains not too far. So being from Charlotte, kind of right in the middle of the state there. But of course, I love it out here in Texas. I love growing up with my admiration for the Wild West and all the great stories, and all the history. So it's exciting for me to be out here, and especially in West Texas here, just as all the history associated with the region.
Well, everybody wants to be a cowboy when they grow up.
No kidding. Yeah. I was no exception.
Or a gunfighter, one of the two, So tell me a little bit about your musical journey. So have you been playing your whole life?
So I started playing as a teenager. Music was actually part of my life since I was a little baby. My very first memories in life are me in my crib, and my mom and dad and my older sister. They would just play rock and roll records nonstop. I mean, every night they played at least one record, and it's everything from the Beatles to and it's one of the reasons why I'm excited to be here in Lubbock. A lot of Buddy Holly. Mm-hmm. So I grew up idolizing him, and Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, and and then some of the later stuff too. Like my folks really liked a lot of the 70s kind of edgy music like the Ramones, and then I really got into music from the 90s stuff. Like Nirvana was one of my first big loves in music, and yeah, that was kind of what inspired me to just play music, because it was such a big part of my family.
Very nice. Have you always played guitar?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I've been playing guitar from the get-go, and I took it up with the specific intention. I was never like, well, this is going to be a hobby or something when I do, on the weekends as my a part-time thing apart from my 9-to-5 job. No, the end game was always, even back then when I was 14 and started, was to do what I'm doing right now. So it's kind of, it's been a long road and a lot of hard work, but it's exciting to just get to travel and play music and say that's my full-time thing.
Sure. I know you're a songwriter at heart, but I'm sure as you navigated your way in your musical journey, I'm sure you've played a lot of covers over the years. So tell me, like, kind of your influences. I know you mentioned Buddy Holly and Chuck Berry. Is that kind of the vein of music that got you interested in music?
Absolutely that. But then, like I said, also a lot of the 90s stuff, like, people like Nirvana was a big deal. And yeah, I do play, like, at the Funky Door, I'm playing there. It's a 3-hour show. So even though I do have 3 hours worth of original songs I could play, it's like I like to mix in a few songs.
Sure.
I'd only do songs, or I do only do cover songs that are songs that I actually like. I don't do the crowd pleasers just for the sake of it. Sometimes the songs I really like do happen to be crowd pleasers, which it works out that's a coincidence. But things like Tom Petty, love Tom Petty, Creedence Clearwater Revival, and then even I got into like some of that more out there 80s stuff, like Devo. Was a big fan of Devo.
Yeah.
So it's kind of all over the place with my my musical influences, and once again, yeah, I do like to play my versions of the songs from the artists that inspired me. As a matter of fact, I also do have a release that's an EP called Freebird, because it contains my version of the song by Leonard Skinner, Freebird.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, and I think as an artist, for me, either playing one of my original compositions or a song that really means something to me, that I really love, that I feel something with, I always tend to perform those better. I've done some crowd pleasers before requests, and I think any artist, if they love the music they're playing, it's going to be a little bit better performance, a little heart and soul put into it.
No kidding. And that's why, that is my rule. Like, I'm okay with doing covers. I'd never play at a place that were like, we only do cover songs. Those are obviously have to be out the door, sadly, because a lot of those ones pay real good, but like I'm not into being a human jukebox. Like
Sure.
I said, like I do like to play songs that people like, if it just because I like them too.
Sure, absolutely.
But yeah, no, and the songs. Nothing is better than when you're playing songs that mean something to you and the audience likes it. But I really do get into the cover songs I do too, and that gets the audience engaged too. If it's an audience that isn't unfamiliar with me, and those kinds of things help win over fans. And every group does it. The Beatles did that. A lot of their early work were covers of the rock and roll legends that they loved, and a lot of other groups do it too. So it's definitely part of the formula.
Very cool. When did you start writing songs?
When I was a teenager, yeah. So as soon as I got the guitar, as soon as I learned how to do a few chords, I was using those chords to write songs. And the first few probably weren't the greatest, but year after year, like anything in life, if you continue at it, practice makes perfect.
Very nice. What where all have you been this year in the United States? So has it just been a Southern tour, or have you been up kind of in the Midwest where you're from, in that area, or?
Yeah, so the tour started back in January this year.
Oh, wow.
So I've made 2 circles around the U.S. One circle went, up through, like you just said, Virginia, West Virginia, Ohio, Indiana, Wisconsin, the Dakotas. What's after that? Montana, Idaho. Then I went down the West Coast and back home through the southern half, and then I did another circle around, so I've made 2 circles around the U.S. and then the circle around Europe. I even dipped into Mexico for a few shows down there earlier in the year. So yeah, I've been all over the place, and this is actually the busiest year I've ever had. As of right now, towards the end of the year, I will have played 291 shows. As of right now, I think I'm at 254 shows for the year. So.
That's a full calendar.
Indeed, but I'm trying to get 9 more booked so I can have that nice round number 300 and say I played 300 shows in a year. It sounds so much better than 291 shows. It rolls
Yeah.
off the tongue better.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about, since you've been doing this traveling, what differences do you see in music in different parts of the world? I mean, is it really drastic differences as far as the venues that support live music and singer-songwriters, or is it a pretty common thread, you think?
It's there's always there's always the places that treat musicians real good. There's the places that treat musicians so-so, and then there's the places that treat musicians not so good. So, I mean, luckily in my travels, I've had more of like the two former than the latter. But, and unfortunately, there's always going to be a few bad apples everywhere. But, it's pretty evenly. I can't say that one geographical region has necessarily treated me like better than the other than mainly kind of the South. I mean, like I just, I love, and mostly because being from the South in North Carolina, it's easy for me to do a trek like I got back from Europe October 28th, so I just decided to do a trek through, all my favorite places, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana here. Like I actually dipped into New Mexico for just one show in Portales, and now I'm headed back so I can be back home to Thanksgiving to visit my mom on Thanksgiving.
Very nice. I bet your songwriting has benefited from your travels. I know we talked about that a little bit, but, to me, those experiences on the road and having your eyes open to those opportunity to create a song out of experience, traveling enables that to happen quite a bit. So is there any stories that have happened over the last year that you could talk about that maybe have inspired you to write some music?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I have a lot of, I call them road story songs. So, some of the interesting things that happen, and I'll probably be showcasing a few of them later on the show today. But you just interesting things that happen. Interesting interactions with people. Things that you would never expect to happen. On a rock and roll tour. So yeah, it is definitely like I count my lucky blessings that I don't get writer's block or anything. It's actually the opposite. Like there's so many ideas. It's just not having the time to write them down, more or less.
So in those travels, I've got buddies that do what you're doing. They do the singer-songwriter thing, mostly in the Southwest region. But a lot of those guys, they have a van or a car, and they're either sleeping in their car, or they're tent camping, or they're living in a motorhome or an RV. Because let's be honest, it's not a very lucrative paying job traveling the country playing your songs. Until you can get to a certain level. So there is some sacrifice there. How are you doing your travels? Have you got an RV, van in that car?
It's funny, and boy, and I those folks I see with the RVs, I often wonder, I'm like, how do they make that work? Because I'm sure that thing gets like 10 miles to the gallon.
I know.
So, no, I'm actually my vehicle, my primary vehicle is a hybrid Toyota Corolla. I have removed all the seats, minus the driver's seat, of course, and I built a little makeshift, do-it-yourself bed in there, and I got room for, all my music equipment, my merchandise, some of my personal effects, and I've got a little bed in there. I took the seats out, and that's my thing, and it gets really good gas mileage because, and over the years I've seen musicians riding around in these great big rigs. I'm like, every time I see, I'm like, these guys, they're only going to be able to afford to do this maybe 1 or 2 years before they realize there's no way. So yeah, having that smaller vehicle is the thing that really makes my bottom line what I need it to be.
Sure.
I'm sure those guys in the RV are real comfortable, but I like looking at the money I save in gas in my bank account better.
Absolutely. I've bought a Jeep from one of my singer-songwriter buddies, and it was his travel Jeep, and all the seats were out of it, except the driver's seat. And, there was a makeshift bed back there.
Cool.
And so I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a little singer-songwriter rig,
Indeed.
So where are you headed after Lubbock? Have you been home lately, or have you been touring this whole time since January?
So I, doing the 2 circles, so I would be home in North Carolina for a couple days. I'd have of course, on my days off, I've been in the studio recording songs for new releases, so it's not technically time off. I did pass through home, in Charlotte, North Carolina, for about half a week to a week. What that would have been 2-3 times as I'm making the circles around. And yeah, like I mentioned, I'll be back home in Charlotte. My mom also lives in Charlotte, so I'll be there to spend Thanksgiving with her. And then I hit the road in December until Christmas, and I kind of just do that to, it's just staying busy, I think, is the most important thing in music, because there's so many other people that'll take your place if you're not constantly showing your face in places.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how that works. If you get your name out of the hat as far as in a rotation of playing venues, it can take a while to get back into that rotation. And it's not that, they don't want you there. It's just that those book, and there's so many talented artists looking for work that, it's tough. If you get out of it, you got to wait a while to get back in.
It's true, and that is why I stay so busy. And that, like I said, it's my job. So if I'm not doing this, then I'm not making money. So that's why I stay so busy with the music.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I love what I'm doing. It's it's a great time. So doing the thing.
Well, I think if you're able to do what you truly love to do, and that's what you're on this earth made to do. What a cool life, zero stress. I mean, I'm sure there's a little bit of stress involved in the road, but as far as being able to do what you love to do day in and day out for a living, man, props to you. That's a good way to live life.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I appreciate it. I'd like to say it's stress-free. You're sometimes, trying to, I always tell my friends, it's like trying to find a new job 365 days of the year. Because, you're finding a job one day at a time.
Yeah, the booking's a nightmare.
That part gets a little hectic. Yeah, because, again, I'm doing all the business stuff myself. So that part can get a little stressful when you're working with people that might not, have your best interests at heart.
Yeah.
But luckily, like I say, most of the people I work with are great. They're on the level. They're honest and trustworthy. So, if there's like a 1% bad apples in the bunch, those aren't the worst odds.
Absolutely. So you're going to get to go home for the holidays. That's great. Where are you headed? You got any gigs between here and there on the way home?
Oh, of course. Yeah, 100%. I am. I'm doing 2 or 3 shows a day, all the way back home. Yeah. So I never. And that's the thing. If I'm doing my tours, I try to make the final show as close as possible to North Carolina. Like if there was nothing in between here, Lubbock and North Carolina, that means something went wrong on my end. But and like I said, the South is one of my best geographical regions. So I got shows lined up in Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, and Georgia on my way back.
How fun, man!
So yeah, and then December doing the Midwest, and then down to Florida and everything in between.
So winter in Florida.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, doing some dates down there, and 100%.
Cool. You're in your travels, as far as continental U.S. or abroad, what is by far, hands down, the coolest place you've played?
Oh, that's I like to say, I find something good about every single place I play, and I really do. Any place that's having me perform, I'm grateful to have that experience. And once again, growing up in North Carolina, I do really love the South. Europe, they treated me really good in Germany and United Kingdom, but I had great shows everywhere. But as far as maybe quantity of cool places, Germany was definitely a high point of the trip over there this year. But all different kinds of places. Sweden, like I say, UK was great. I had some great shows in the Netherlands and Czech Republic was great. I just, and I really, I'm just grateful to be, performing in all these different places. So I do try to find something really cool and really good about every place I go.
So over there in Europe, like let's just say, for instance, Germany, are you playing in pubs more so, or are they actually listening room type venues? Or are they like ticketed concerts? Tell me a little bit about what that's like playing over there as far as the venues.
All of the above,
Okay.
basically, and I do, everything from, like last night I was playing at like a music club. Tonight it's the Funky Door, which is kind of like a fancy restaurant, and then coming up, I've got some shows in like hospitals, assisted living places. So I'm kind of like all over the place. And it was the same way over there, basically, all different kinds of shows, some of the listening rooms, some of the ticketed events, sometimes playing in restaurants. My final show was a barbecue restaurant in Sweden, in Gothenburg, Sweden. I was like, isn't this crazy? And they had stuff from Texas all over the walls. Like they had
cool.
the Buc-ee's like logo on. So the guy, he was a Swede, but he was certainly like a lover of like Texan culture. He had like all the brisket. I was like, it was really good brisket. I was like,
I was going to ask, how was the barbecue?
Yeah, I was like, so he definitely like, he did his homework, because I was like, who would have thought that I'd get some really good like Texas style brisket in Sweden? But the guy, he's come over to the U.S. And met multiple times, so he did his homework for sure.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah,
you never know what you're going to run into in this world.
That is why it's such an adventure doing it, and that is another thing that I love, like the food. I think I love the food a little bit too much. It's like, so, over there, like, schnitzel in Germany, pierogies in Poland, like, just all kinds of, the food in Italy, fantastic. United Kingdom, I know a lot of people aren't the craziest about British food, but like, fish and chips. I mean, I had to try like the national plate of like everywhere I went. And then same in the U.S. I try to like, try some of the indigenous food of all the different areas of the U.S. too.
Absolutely. So in those countries where English is not the native tongue, do you have a hard time communicating, or is it pretty simple to get around and navigate, or are you bilingual in some of those languages?
So some countries, there was a lot larger population that spoke English than others, like, Sweden, Denmark, Germany. A lot of people were speaking English. I'm not bilingual, but I did every country I'd go to, I'd make a little like cheat sheet, with all the basics, like so that I could have an interaction in a convenience store. Like, can I have this? Where's the bathroom? The usual, sorry, excuse me, like the usual stuff.
Sure.
So I did learn, and I'd actually learn, how to introduce my songs, and, to how to say hello to the audience in whatever country I was in.
That's cool. That's a nice touch.
And once again, I would take like notes and kind of have them on my little table, like next to my microphone, so I could like glance down, make sure I was saying the right thing. But yeah, and I think the folks over there in Europe, they really appreciated it, because
Absolutely.
a lot of people, a lot of Americans that go over there, they don't take the time to learn even a little bit. Funny thing is when I was in France, I was speaking a little bit, but I didn't speak a lot. And the guy's like, "You need to learn more French." I was like, "I'll put that on my homework list, buddy." That was the only place where somebody gave me some heat about not speaking. Like, I'm in the country 4 days, and he wanted me to speak it fluently for that.
Yeah,
kind of funny stuff.
What is your favorite food that you've had in these travels? Is there something that sticks out?
Now I haven't been to Greece in the last few years, but the Greek food was pretty amazing.
Really?
Yeah. The gyros, they're the real authentic gyros. They actually have French fries in them, believe it or not. That's how they serve them over there. They put French fries in the gyro sandwich, and it's all kinds of great like seafood, like grilled octopus, like just stuff you don't typically think of as Greek food, but awesome food in Greece over there.
I bet it's beautiful over there too.
Oh yeah, 100%. I did shows in the mainland, and also on the island of Crete, which was really exciting. And I was always into Greek mythology growing up, so it was cool to see a lot of that stuff. And of course, took a day off to see the Acropolis over there. Just I love the history. It's a lot of great history.
Very nice. So what you said you're working in the studio on your days off. So tell me a little bit about, you said it's an EP coming out. How many songs are you putting on?
Yeah. So it's and I'm calling it it's the appetizer for the next album. It's called Mac and Cheese, after just one of the songs I've been playing, which actually is a road story. So it's a 4-song EP, and then I am recording another full-length album in January called Bryan Super Happy Fun Time 5. It'll be the sequel to the current one, Bryan Super Happy Fun Time 4. And then I'm just going to do the whole thing over again next year, just hit the road and make circles around the U.S., and I'm going back to Europe again. So, yeah, staying real busy.
That's cool, man.
Thank you.
When do you think that EP will release?
December 7th.
Oh, so you've got it down. Is it mixed and mastered and ready?
It's in the duplicators. Like it's at the duplicators right now. Because I'm actually releasing it as a download, as a cassette single, and as a 7-inch vinyl.
Wow. A cassette. I haven't heard of anybody releasing a cassette in a minute.
Oh yeah, it's
Are you a kid of the 80s?
I am.
Okay.
100%, which is why I love them. But you know what?
Sony Walkmans.
Yeah, I have, of course. But college students, like the early 20 college kids, they love tapes. So I've been selling. It's funny because someone my age will be like, nobody listens to these anymore. But then I play a college town with like a younger audience, and they're like, I'll take the tapes. Yeah, I'm like, yes. So tapes have been, part of the thing.
It's probably like an artifact for them. It looks like something from Mars.
A lot of the same kind of like nostalgia and sentimentality as like vinyl too. So that's why vinyl is a little trickier because it takes longer and it's more expensive. But I decided to finally go ahead and do vinyl because that's something I wanted to do. Of course, the vinyl is not going to be coming out till next year. But yeah. So big Mac and Cheese EP release on December 7th back home in Charlotte. I'll be passing through.
Very nice. Are you on your own label or are you?
I just self-release everything.
Very nice.
Yeah. I've been before I was a solo artist, I was on a couple labels as a band, but I do much better as doing my own work. It's like people think of like, oh, getting on a label and you've got it made or but actually they didn't really. The labels I were on, I'm better. It's better to have your own artistic control. It might be more work, but I know that I'm the one that's like presenting myself the way I want to be presented. And if something goes wrong, I hold myself accountable and there's nobody else like pulling the strings.
Do you do your own recording? You have a studio?
No, that I actually outsource. I have a guy that's been working with me for quite a while, and his name's Rob Taglione, Italian guy, Catalyst Recording, and they've been around. They're the longest running studio in Charlotte, North Carolina. They've been there since the 90s. And there's a reason why he's the longest running studio. I mean, he does a great job, and he's worked on all my projects, both my solos, and he used to work with my old band too. So he does a great job. It sounds real polished. I mean, it's great radio ready stuff. And he does a great job, and I consider him a friend too. So it's real fun to go to his studio and just it's like we catch up. I tell him some of the road stories, and we do the new songs, and sometimes he interjects his ideas. So he's actually kind of like producing, nice. Rather than just like hitting the record button. He like interjects his own ideas sometimes, and he actually plays some percussion on some of the albums. Sometimes he does like the djembe or what is that? The cajon and some tambourine and shaker. So he contributes sometimes.
Very nice, man. It's cool to build those relationships, isn't it?
100%, yeah. Because I mean, in music and just life in general, people just come and go out of your life. So if they're the people that have been around for a long time and they're still on your side and they're still supporting you, I'm just so grateful for that. Whether it's like audiences or venues or people in the media, just those long-term relationships. I mean, you can't they're I truly value them because you just see so many people come and go.
Yeah. So tell the audience where we can find, first of all, your music, where it's streamed, where it's available at. Number 2, your website, so they can see your show dates and your merch is available on there as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, if you'd love to tell them where we can find that.
Well, so everything is on one-stop shop is the website, bryansuperhappyfuntime.com, and that's Bryan with a Y, bryansuperhappyfuntime.com. And on that page, you'll find my show calendar, and you'll also see links to all the different streaming platforms that people like to listen to music on, be it Apple, Spotify, all those things. And, of course, you can also stream the music directly from the website as well. But, yeah, bryansuperhappyfuntime.com, and you can find me through there all over the web, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
Perfect. Well, listen, I really appreciate you coming in today and taking the time to sit down and do this interview. We're about to let you play some of your music. I can't wait to hear it, man.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate you guys having me on and helping me get the word out about my music while I'm here passing through Lubbock,
Absolutely.
Texas.
It was our pleasure. Thanks so much for being here, man.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys stick around. We're about to have a little live performance from Bryan Bielanski. I really appreciate it, man. That was a great interview. Enjoyed the visit. So
thank you. Likewise.
Yeah. You guys check out Bryan's website and his music and his tour dates. And if you're in Sweden, apparently we need to go to the barbecue joint, the Texas
Mugwurts.
Mugwurts
in Gothenburg, yeah.
All right, guys, this has been a great season 3. This is the finale. Stay tuned for more episodes of LBK Rhythm and Roots. They're available on the City of Lubbock's YouTube channel, playlist Rhythm and Roots, or on the city's TV channel, My LBK Connect. So appreciate you guys tuning in with us, and we'll see you on season 4.
All right, folks. Well, once again, my name's Bryan Bielanski, traveling musician from Charlotte, North Carolina, on tour promoting my latest album, Bryan's Super Happy Fun Time 4. But this first song I'm going to perform is from the last album, Bryan's Super Happy Fun Time 3. It's called Rock the Library, and it's a song about how I hang out in the libraries all day before my shows, because it's a great place to hang around for free before my shows. Well, honey, I know what you need. I like to write, you like to read. I really like the way you look. Are you gonna check out my library book? I'm your host with the most rockin' libraries, coast to coast. On I-10, I-20, I-30, 40, I-50, I-60, I-70, 80. I love you, baby, but don't mean maybe. You're hotter than mashed potatoes and gravy. And I'm your host, LBK, rockin' libraries, USA. Well, you look so cute in your glasses, studying for college classes. No fail, only passes, sweeter than Alabama molasses. I'm your host with the most rockin' libraries, coast to coast. On I-10, I-20, I-30, 40, 50, I-60, I-70, 80. I love you, baby, don't mean maybe. You're hotter than mashed potatoes and gravy. And I'm your host, LBK, rockin' libraries, USA, yeah. Rock, rock, rock the library. 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 I'm your host, LBK, rockin' libraries, USA, let's rock. Well, honey, I know what I need. I like a girl that likes to read. Come on, baby, I'm no fool. I know that the library's cool, and I'm your host with the most rockin' libraries, coast to coast. On I-10, I-20, I-30, 40, 50, I-60, I-70, 80. I love you, baby, but don't mean maybe. You're hotter than mashed potatoes and gravy. I'm your host, LBK, rockin' libraries, USA, yeah. Rock, rock, rock the library. 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 I'm your host, LBK, rockin' libraries, USA. I'm your host, LBK, rockin' libraries, USA. Thank you, folks. Thank you very much. Thank you kindly. Well, this next song I'd like to perform, it's another song from that same album, Bryan's Super Happy Fun Time 3, the predecessor to the new one, Bryan's Super Happy Fun Time 4. And this song is another big hit off the album, I'm Your Super Mario. Baby, I'm your Super Mario. Oh yeah, you're Super Mario. Give me a try, you won't be sorry, oh. Oh no, you won't be sorry, oh. I'm getting big, I'm getting super. I'm gonna save you from King Koopa. You're gonna be my Princess Peach. The level 8 castle is in my reach. Baby, I'm your Super Mario. Oh yeah, you're Super Mario. You just stay away from Wario. Oh no, don't go with Wario. You're gonna be my Princess Peach. The level 8 castle is in my reach. Well, all my dreams have come true, except the one where I save you. Where I save you. 'Cause all my dreams have come true, except the one where I save you. I just wanna be your guy. We'll have a super happy fun time. Baby, I'm your Super Mario. Baby, I'm your Super Mario. Baby, I'm your Super Mario. Baby, I'm your Super Mario now. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you kindly. Well, this next song I'm going to carry on with, this is one from the latest album, Bryan's Super Happy Fun Time 4. As mentioned in the interview, this is one of those road stories about some of the interesting things that happen on the road. And this song is called Bryan's Super Happy Fun Time Blues. Well, I drove to Alabama for to play my gig. I showed up, the bar said, you don't have one. I said I did. The next night there's more trouble you don't even know. Man, they made me pay the cover charge at my own show. People think I got an easy life, but I'll give you the news. I got the Bryan Super Happy Fun Time Blues. Well, I go and I find a safe place to sleep in my car at night. I crack the window, those mosquitoes all got a real big bite. When I play my new songs at the Oklahoma show, man, the crowd shouts, play a song we know, that we recognize from our radio. Oh, people think that it's an easy life, but I'll give you the news. I got the Bryan Super Happy Fun Time Blues. Yeah, people think that it's an easy life, but I give you the news. I got the Bryan Super Happy Fun Time Blues. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now for this final song, well, I got a couple requests from the very friendly crew here at Rhythm and Roots. And thank you, by the way, again, Rhythm and Roots, for having me. I appreciate it very much. So I did get a request to introduce myself in German, or in one of the languages. German's the only one I can remember. So, Guten Abend, meine Freude. Mein Name ist Bryan Bielanski. Wie geht's? Ich komme in den USA for promoten meine neue Album Bryan's Super Happy Fun Time Viers. Und dieses nächste Lied ist Namen Still Living in My Car. So I switched back to English now, and this is another road story about how I sleep in my car as I travel the world and play music. Rocking out, I'm still living in my car. Well, I'm a traveling musician, I live in my car. I eat a lot of peanut butter out of the jar. You're a nice audience, and I think you get the super happy fun time motif. Rocking out, I'm still living in my car. I hang out at the library all day, email the media about the shows I play. Then I sit around in the coffee shop and cold call venues for places to rock. Rocking out, I'm still living in my car. A lot of hard work, a little luck. I pay my bills with the music bucks. I used to work a job, didn't like it. Well, being on tour is more exciting. Well, in between tours, it's what I do. I crash on the couch at Area 52, and I get back in the studio, record a new album, then I go. Rocking out, I'm still living in my car. Rocking out, I'm still living in my car. Rocking out, I'm still living in my car. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. It's been a pleasure performing for y'all today. Thank you very much.